Welcome to the second video in our Finance 101 series. I'm David Duty, Superintendent of Schools. In this video, we're going to talk about funds. So our accounts are organized into many different funds, and we're going to talk about 5 of them today: General Fund, School Nutrition Fund, Capital Fund, Special Funds, and Debt Service Fund. So General Fund is the primary operating fund. This is where we receive any state, local, and federal funds. It covers the daily operating costs of the district. This is where you pay for things like salaries and benefits and supplies. In general, which is why I think it's called General Fund, if it's not accounted for in another fund, this is the default where it gets accounted for. If you look in an account code that starts with 100, that is a general fund. The School Nutrition Fund is responsible for supporting all of the operations of our breakfast, lunch, and snack program. So the School Nutrition Fund pays for things like the meals themselves, supplies that are needed, equipment that's needed, and the personnel, with some exceptions, which we'll get into in a future video. Capital funds, there are a whole bunch of different capital funds, and these funds account for CSD's capital expenditures. And so things like renovating Decatur High School science labs and stadium that we did several years back would come out of the capital funds. And these are designated starting with a 3, so they're in the 300s for the fund numbers. Special funds are funds that account for various grants from government agencies and foundations, and they serve special programs and services in the schools. So an example of this is our pre-kindergarten program at College Heights. That's operated out of this fund. And special funds start with a 4, so they're all in the 400s. And finally, debt service funds. So this accounts for things like the principal and interest payments on long-term debt. An example of this would be that when we have a bond, which we do right now, we pay for the principal and interest payments out of this fund, and those are designated 200 in the account codes. And finally, let's talk about tracking funds. So you heard me refer to 100, 400, 600, etc. That is the very first part that you will see in the account code. So in this example here, that 100 indicates that this account code is a general fund account code. We'll get into more details about account codes in a future video. I hope you found this helpful, and I hope you will continue watching these videos in this Finance 101 video series.